Hello, welcome to our webinar, NX Value-Based Licensing. First question, why should you be interested in this webinar? Well, it's because of the tagline that I have, NX, one tool, it's got every solution. For way of an agenda, very briefly, we're going to talk about who we are, and then we're going to jump into our main subject, value-based licensing. My name is Dan Turk. I'm an application engineer with Geometric Solutions. Now, Geometric Solutions, the company that I work for, we sell the best in-class software. We sell Siemens software solutions. We don't just sell it, no, we use it, and we use it pretty well. We have a saying around here, we walk the talk, and that's exactly what we do. From consulting to engineering services, to helping you implement your software, to training, to support. Really, we do it all. But let's get to our subject. Have you ever found yourself thinking the same thing that this guy is? Thinking, I know there's a module for NX. It would help me. It could accomplish the job if only I had the license. I know I have felt that way many times. And that's where we want to introduce NX value-based licensing. What it allows is it allows for us to be able to run a number of different products. How many? Over 100. 100 different products, and they're available when we need them, how we need them. So think about that really nice product that you need. You only need to use it on occasion. Well, no worries. It's right there available for you. And you're able to use these new products right from day one. Now, I said that there's over 100 different add-ons, 100 different products. It's really amazing to think that there's that many modules that you could use. At list price, it's over $1 million of software. So the question is always, how do tokens work? Well, if you're like me, when you were a kid and you went to the arcade, you'd take that token, that quarter, you'd put it in, you'd play. And I didn't play very long, I wasn't that good. But you'd play, and then it's done. You lost the token. That's not how they work. Have you ever seen those cartoons where they take a token and they tie a string to it? While that token is in use, it's being used. But when you're done, it's like pulling it back, and then it's back in your hand. You're able to use it for something else. So what are some of the topics or some of the items that we have with NX value-based licensing? Well, there's really a lot of different things that we could do. There's design simulation. So maybe you want to test out a part. You want to know, is this part going to be strong enough? Is it going to hold up? Well, we have design level simulation. Or on the right, what about topology optimization? This is a powerful function that we have. You could think about when someone's doing 3D printing and we can make these kind of cool, organic, funky shapes. You'll say, where do you need to stay out? Where do we want the material to go? And we let the software figure out the rest. And that's how we get these really neat shapes. This is really important for 3D printing. Or perhaps we're more on the electrical side and we want to do some printed circuit boards. Or maybe we want to design an actual machine. Now the one on the right, that's what we're talking about. It's pretty interesting. It's called Mechatronics Concept Designer. If you notice on the right side, what do we have? Well, we have the ladder logic. The Siemens TIA portal is in the back side. There's a virtual PLC, and then the machine is actually running within NX. So you're able to test your machine, test your code, even test the physics, all within NX. Now sticking with the electrical side, NX routing cabling. Now you'll notice on my screen there are a number of different ways you can route cables. Do you want to have your cables routed and clipped properly? Do you want them to be associative? Do you want them to tie back to a bill of material? Well, with NX routing and cabling, you've got that ability. The next ones that we'll look at is NX Animation Designer. Now this is a really powerful product. What it allows us to do is it allows us to animate any types of models. Now what you're noticing on the left is we've put in a couple of interferences there. So I want to know when my little robot, when it's moving, I want to know when is there a problem, when is there an interference. We can also use the animation for marketing. Or on the right, this is called realized shape. This is like taking a piece of clay and rolling it in your hands. Using your mouse just like your finger to be able to move different parts around and to be able to do so very quickly. In just the few seconds that I've been speaking, look what we've got here. We've got the start of the front end of a car. That's realize shape. The next one we'll talk about is PMI, or Product and Manufacturing Information. A lot of folks like to think about this as 3D drawings. It's where you take those dimensions, you take the GD&T, the key characteristics, you take all of those bits and you bake them right into the model. Now this is going to help you further downstream. For one, it's going to help you with CAM. It's going to help you when you're doing your inspections. It's going to help you to eliminate drawings. But with NX, there's so much more that you can do. What about automating it? Or do you notice in the top right, validation? Is that GD&T that we have down there, is that okay? Well, looks like there's some issues. Or is it a matter of just being able to search through an entire assembly and find that key characteristic? And as we mentioned, a model-based enterprise, where the model is the master. The PDF, it's based on the model. Another one that we could talk about is NX Structure Designer. Notice how quickly we're able to put in a structure based on a skeleton. Now the nice thing about this is when we get to our corners, have you ever had to make a quick adjustment? Is it a miter joint? Is it a butt joint? Which side overlaps? Well, you can see just with a couple clicks, we get the exact joint that we want. Or if we wanted to size this up and make it a little bit larger, a little bit smaller, you're able to do so dynamically and quickly with NX Structure Designer. And then on the right, we have NX Motion. Here we've got some landing gear. This has to be dead on. It has to be right. And so with NX Motion, we're able to test the kinematics to make sure every little bit of this, every piece is going to move exactly as desired. When it comes to landing gear on an airplane, it can't be close. It's got to be dead on. Or what if we talked about a couple of other ones? Here we have convergent modeling. This is taking a laser scan, bringing it in, and then modeling over top of it, or even smoothing out those rough edges. You're able to do this with convergent modeling. Typically, we'll get a laser scan, and let's face it, it's usually not very good. As we see on the screen, it's pretty much unusable at this point. But with convergent modeling, we're able to smooth things out with a smoothing factor, and then we're able to actually use what we've got. Let's give that just a second so we can see what the results are. Button click or two, and wow, here we go. We can keep on modeling and adding some other features right on here. Or on the right, we have our design for additive manufacturing. If you do any 3D printing, you know that the money is really in the filling, in the inside. Well, with design for additive manufacturing, we can look for voids, pockets, pits. We can make sure that the lattice structure that we're putting on there, that it's actually going to work. It's going to be strong enough. And as you notice, it's just a couple of button clicks. Do you want to make your own stylized, really cool looking lattice structure? Guess what? With NX, you can. The next ones we'll talk about are NX Mold Wizard. There are a lot of folks out there and they are making molds. Well, is the mold going to work as designed? How is the material going to flow? Where's the parting line? There's all these different questions. Well, guess what? With NX Mold Wizard, we're able to figure all of that out. And then lastly, all of the translators. Now everybody's familiar with step translation. But did you know that you can also translate CATIA or even Pro-E and Creo files in? You're able to do all of that with these value-based licensing. So let's have an example and see how this works in a real-world situation. So let's just say we've got a customer. They have 5 seats of Mach 1, and they have 100 pack of tokens. So at 9:30, somebody starts human modeling. That's 26 tokens. So there were 100 minus 26. Even I can do that math. There's 74 tokens available. A little bit later, someone else uses another module. That's 35 more tokens. And then at 10:15, human modeling, it's done. And so those tokens, they go back inside of the pool. Then a little bit later, someone else starts doing some routing. And you kind of get the idea. So that pool of tokens, when you're using them, it's holding on to the tokens. But when you're done, it releases them. Now you may be thinking, well, how does this work? Well, think about it. Every time you're in NX and you want to change a module, what do? Application, modeling. Application, sheet metal. Application, drafting. Or we're using some variation of that. So the common questions that we get about value-based licensing. What is the pricing model? Well, they come in packs of 50 or 100, and it's only available as a subscription. Your first pack has to be, as we said, 50 or 100. But remember, at the beginning of our presentation, we showed that picture of that guy. You know who it is. It's me, or it's you. It's somebody that knows there is a solution within NX, but we don't have the license. With NX value-based licensing, we could say that we have your solution. This is going to conclude our webinar on NX value-based licensing. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact us at solutions@goplm.net. Have a great day.